Greg Beast here. Today's FOA DOD is going to be focused on one of the most common questions that we get. How do I make my hands faster on the whistle, right? So we're gonna go back. First, we gotta understand this is a layered response. The first thing is things that don't help us with hand speed. Yes, you've heard me say it before. Scientifically speaking, there's no argument to it. Doing these ball hopping and juggling and mind-numbing drills are great, and they will make you better at those skills. They cannot and will not correlate to a faster face-off clamp. If that was true, then every Vegas casino card dealer and every cup stacking champion on earth would be an elite level face-off guy. If you see what I'm saying, right? So a golf swing, the more dialed in and streamlined it is, the more powerful and further the ball goes. The more dialed in and streamlined and technically sound your Olympic lifts are, okay, the more weight and the more power you can drive up. So when it comes to how do we get our hands faster on the whistle for a face-off, the first answer is your technique needs to be dialed in. So our stance needs to be at the proper angle so that you make the race shorter on the whistle, okay? So that's the first part, working with the FOA, getting our stance dialed in. The second tier to that is now changing our technique and making sure that this is the motion we want on a face-off, the press form, right? Pressing into the ball. We don't want the elbow kicked out. We don't want the wrist elevated because now we're gonna get an elbow flare before we get to the whistle. So now we have a delay. So if we get those things all fixed, we get our technique dialed in, we work with our coaches, and now we're ready to go and we have this motion ready. The only thing that makes your face-off faster is to train the exact movement pattern and train the exact muscles that are related to a face-off. So if you don't have a rep strap, if you do have a rep strap, you can do the rep strap resistance hand punch drill that's on my YouTube channel. It's very easy to see and it trains those muscles great. Now, the second thing would be to now work on a different hand punch drill, which we're gonna go over. These hand punch drills are the only time where you would do something one-handed because you're not using a stick. But you don't wanna do one-handed clamps, okay? Because then you're also training your elbow flare. It's impossible to train a one-handed clamp with a stick without creating poor mechanics. So we wanna make sure we forget about that. So this next drill is a hand punch drill that anybody can do at home, whether you have a rep strap or not. Okay, so the resisted hand punch drill. What you want to do is first get in your stance. Make sure your stance is dialed in. Make sure we're angled towards the ball and the opponent and we're dialed in. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the stick out of your hand now that you're in your exact motion. You're going to replace the ball with a hard object that has enough weight to it where it's not going to move anywhere, okay? Make sure you got your glove on. And all you're going to do is practice punching into the ball. And notice, I'm not sitting down when I do it. If you're naturally doing that, we have to revamp your mechanics because we don't want to drop down here. We want to come into and over the ball. So keep that weight centered on the right knee and punch. And what's that's training is for you to do this rather than that. And if you want to do this and you're hitting it with the back of your hand, that means you have an elbow flare and we got to change the way you train. Then, when you've done that regularly, maybe do that before you start facing off. Now we're going to do the exact same motion. And it correlates directly to the press rather than this motion where you roll over and you got an elbow flare, okay? So the hand punch drill is great, helps you train those muscles. Give that thing a shot and see how it works out for you.